All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Peter Igaga, and you are watching your favorite show. That is NTV Men. Before I get into it, we're here at the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel having a chat about turning your hustle into a business. And of course, by default, making money from it. So where better to go than to look for the hustler himself? A man who's made of steel, who earlier today told me that when he takes his porridge, he mixes it with a bit of cement so that it can go down smoothly. The one person who bit a snake, and after 9 excruciating days, the snake died. Poor snake. We're here with none other than Moses Golola himself.
Yo!
The champion.
More respect, much respect.
Good to have you here, my brother.
I'm so much humbled that I'm here, you know. So amazing.
It's
great.
That's what it's about. It's about men.
When I was young, I was like, I wanna be a great man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And today you are.
And I am a great man. Thank God for that, you know.
Fantastic. Well done, well done, well done. So, before we get into it with Moses, Chris, we have a man sitting here who had a dream, okay? He started it. Some people laughed, some people thought he was not serious, but he has actually built a brand, not only in Uganda, but internationally. Is that possible, or is he just one of the lucky few who managed to make it up? Because you mentor young people. And do you also encourage them to take the same route, to take their gifts? Like, I mean, he's a gifted kickboxer. I wouldn't want to, I like fighting, but I wouldn't want to get into it with him. Huh? Okay. So he's turned that into literally a skill. I mean, he now has a movie. It's called The Making of a Champion.
Life of a Champion.
Life of a Champion, yes. I mean, and he's doing so many great things. Your thoughts?
Peter, why are you even talking to me when Golola Moses, the man himself, is right here? I have been a fan. I've been a Golola Moses fan from the very first time he broke onto national TV. Yeah. And I have utmost respect for you and what you've done for the sport of kickboxing, for young people who want to carve out a space in life. And I think that you've done very well using your skill, using your talent, and beyond that, building a brand. I think that you are what Tiger Woods is to golf in terms of kickboxing in Uganda. If there was no Golola Moses, kickboxing would be no sport that anyone wants to go watch. So, I mean, kudos to you, man. I really, really respect you and what you've been able to achieve. And I'm sure that there's many people who are watching who would do that. I think that Golola Moses' story and the stories of many others who've carved out space in different areas of industry and service just speaks to the fact that you can turn a hobby into a business. You know, many times when people think about making money, they think about it being hard, it being tough, it being, you know, something you don't like and you have to do because you just have to do. Sometimes using the word hustle, right? But you actually, I think that what has happened in Golola Moses' story and so many others who really become successful is that you have something you love to do that you turn into a business. Because it's important that it's your passion. It's important that you are the best at this thing in the world. And so if it's your hobby, you keep on sharpening it. But also, it's got to be, you got to then find a way in which people pay you for it. So because he's built a brand, his brand sells for movies, his brand sells, you know, when Uganda Airlines is launching, if Golola Moses went on the plane and came off, I will go. So he's earning from endorsements and things like that. And I guess, I know that all of us can take what God has given us, a God-given gift, and turn it and monetize it. So yes, you say I mentor young people, but the other thing that I do, Peter, actually, is I'm a certified Gravitas Impact coach. So I train businesses, I coach businesses to scale up their growth. Now, I don't come in as a content expert. If you're in banking or, you know, fintech, hospital, whatever service or business you do, I'm not a content expert. You know the business, the content best, but I'm trained to be able to help you to scale up your business, right? But that skill of being able to get into the different spaces and help people grow what they have is something that first is a natural gifting for me. I am naturally a person who wants to see the best in others.
Yeah.
And so I always come in and say, okay, so what are you dealing with? What are your pain points? And I'm able to work with a whole set of tools and things like that to help you scale up, get over those challenges. And I get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
It so happens to be that my clients also pay me for it.
Yeah.
And the more I have done it is the more respect I'm gaining in the market, and I'm having more and more people refer me to others.
Oh, okay.
So it's possible that you can have a natural gifting that can turn into a talent. Now for Golola Moses, he had to go compete on the international scene and prove to Ugandans and the world that he's the best at it.
Yeah.
For me, I had to actually go and get certified, study and get certified, pass a very serious oral panel, a global oral panel, and I have to get certified, recertified every year to keep me at the top of my game. So I'm using certification from a respected coaching association globally, Gravitas Impact, and that endorsement is giving strength to my natural skills to help people's businesses grow. Okay. So I think that's one of the things that we all need to do. You get your hobby, but find ways in which it can have endorsement from others, and then you monetize it. And I think that he's done very well in that, and we should hear his story by all means.
Yeah. Golola, good to have you here. I mean, you're a household name. I mean, you've made, as Chris said, you made Uganda Airlines safe. Yes, because you're there. But why kickboxing? How did you get into this whole kickboxing?
And to get into all this kickboxing, of course, I didn't start with kickboxing. I want to tell you that since my childhood, I wanted to be incredible. I had that thing of like, I want to be, since I was young, there was something I was seeing in me. Like I was seeing myself being up there. And that, it kept me searching and looking for it. I remember when I was, I think like 17 years, I told my mom, like, Mommy, you know what? I'm going to be a great child among your children all. Then she was like, what the hell are you talking about? So by that time, I had my brother singing, had the degree. He had the degree in the concert track in what building. So he told me, are you going to get a degree like your brother? I told her that I'm going to be more than the brother. When I was young, I loved so much. I've never wanted to be challenged.
Yes.
You know, when you are growing up, there is those moments of like, you want to be the boy around.
Yes.
And of course, at school, in my primaries, I was so much active in sports. I was young, but I was in school teams. When it comes for athletics, I could be there myself. So my life was so much engaged in sports activities. When I grew up like 18 years, I was so good in football. In fact, in Kawempe, I used to be on one of the Lugoba football team.
Nice.
Actually, by that time, I got a dream when something was telling me that you were a champion.
Yeah.
I remember when I got that dream, I waked up and I prayed God. I say, God, I thank you so much. You're the God who makes dreams come true.
Amen.
I want to see how I'm going to be a champion. And by then, I was doing football. Then I was like, in football, who are the champions? In my mind, I couldn't see champions. So what came was like, because by that time Mike Tyson was so aggressive, and he was the only champion.
Yeah. And you know you look alike somehow.
So I got so much inspired by like Mike Tyson's story. The guy came from the street. He became a good boxer. He got a good promoter. He became rich and famous. So inside me, I started praying God to really make me a champion. And I want to tell you, one of the things is that, of course, you can't become something just like that. You have to feel it inside you.
And you have to work.
When you feel it inside you, for me, I always tell people that God is the God who can keep, there is something which can be inside you, which can always make you to wake up, which can always tell you to go, which can always make you, or like you don't give up, which can always make you of not hearing some people say you can't make it. Because in life, even your mother, your brother, those all, they believe that you cannot make it. But after you have reached there, like for example, I remember by in 20 years, I used to go road work. So every time I could come back, my dad could ask me, why do you always run in the morning? I told my dad, yeah, because I want to be fit. He told me that now you want to become a thief. There's no way you can wake up and you go run. You want to become a thief so that when they chase you, they cannot be able to get you. Inside me, I was like, no. That is not it. Then he tells me, why? Instead of waking up, go and cut papyrus leaves, you give the cows, you sweep around, you are becoming crazy. Oh my God, what's wrong with you? I think weed is too much disturbing you. But inside me, I was like, oh my God. And by that time, I didn't know that I'm going to be a kickboxer. But I started boxing. I started boxing in Kawempe. And I remember, and the way I went in to start boxing was like, I didn't want to be challenged by the ghetto Igwes. So, from working hard of like, not wanting to be provoked, not wanting to be challenged, I was like, but one day I'll get a boxer who is very serious. This guy will bang me. Let me go and I now look to do serious training. And when I reached in a serious training, because I joined the KBC, Kampala Boxing Club. When I joined the Kampala Boxing Club, first of all, I looked to the guys who were there. By that time, they were aggressive guys. I could look at them. Inside me, I was like, I have to be the best. Then I have to be the best. I have to challenge these guys. So everything in training was very serious, and I could have that. I have to be the best. Of course, with boxing, there is sparring, training. There is a lot of workout in there. In everything, I could at least work to the best. If you want to be the best, you have to work to the best. You have to work to the maximum. You have to do it more than others could expect you
to do.
Because when you push it harder, it builds your strength in you inside. It builds your muscle. Your brain becomes addicted. It becomes part of you. And of course, I wanted so much to be a great man. And I knew that I might not be a great man whereby becoming a great politician, becoming a doctor or a lawyer. Because when I looked at my dad, first of all, I want to thank God that he did a great job of supporting me and giving me that education of which I can be able to speak on NTV.
Well done.
Yeah. And guess one thing that one day I was like, I have to learn how to speak English, because one day they will invite me to an interview whereby these guys will speak English. So if I won't be able to speak, I won't be able to explain to the people. So I started speaking English slowly by slowly.
Now, we do have to get into a break. This is really, really interesting. We are here at the Hilton Garden Inn talking to Moses Golola. And tonight we are talking about turning your hustle into a business. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break, because we are just getting started with this man. Welcome back from the break. In case you just joined us, we are here at the Hilton Garden Inn having a chat about turning your hustle into a business. Now, we have the man of steel, Moses Golola, here. I'll not say those other things that he has said. He'll say them himself. But before we get back to Golola's story, Faisal.
Yes, please.
You're a young man, okay, who has taken the internet by storm. You even stepped on a couple of toes in doing it. Okay? But I mean, was not your training.
No.
Why
it
did
wasn't.
you then just venture into that? Was it out of your passion, and then you decided to?
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
Because at one point in time, I'm in campus doing telecom engineering, and things are failing. Papers come back, you're not passing, you have retakes and all this. So the whole being online, the whole being on Twitter thing was kind of a hobby for me. Like, I just leave class, go on Twitter and just complain about what the lecturer tweeted. I'm like, hey, bye you guys, today the guy taught from 2 to 5. The only thing I got was good afternoon class, So just by being online all the time, I guess the content was really that good, So it must a following with time. It must a following. And the whole time I used to just do it as a joke, Let me go to class and tweet about something. Let me go out and tweet about something. Let me do this and tweet about something. Till I met a young man. He told me, you're big on Twitter. You really don't know what you're capable of. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, we make money online. I'm like, how do you make money online? You just tweet and people give you money. I'm like, then Bernard, he's called by Bernard, is like, yeah, you just tweet and you get money. Nothing. You don't need a degree. You don't need anything. I'm like, okay, I'll try it out. So in my 4th year before I left campus, I thought I'd give it a shot because I had more time. I had a few course units I was doing, maybe 1 or 2 retakes, but I had time. So I'm like, let me try and do it and see how it goes. And I think the first person who contacted me, I wasn't even up to the whole making money off Twitter, but they just called me and they're like, oh, Faisal, we want to talk to you about something. I'm like, okay, I'll come and show up. So the guy's like, okay, find me at Serena. I'm like, what? Because back then it was a big thing. Find me at Serena to talk about social media. It did not make sense. So I tell my mom, someone called me to talk about social media at Serena. She's like, what? They're going to rob you. Don't do those things. Those are, aim global people. That's what she said. So I'm like, no, let me go and see. So I go. I meet this guy called Shinrai. He had a music label. So he's like, I want you to manage my music label online. And I'm like, it was confusing because you see, I didn't do a digital marketing course. I didn't study. The only thing I knew were waves, 1 + 1, differentiation, integration, engineering. And here is a guy telling me he wants me to do digital marketing for an entire brand. And the first thing I said was, no, I can't do it. Then he's like, well, I'm going to give you $500 a month. And I was like, what? $500 a month. I didn't even know how the exchange rate works back then. So I'm like, yes, I'll do it. I'll find a way. I didn't even know how. So he's like, make a plan, do this and that. And when we were talking, I realized that, if it's going to be a side hustle, I thought you just show up and get money and go. But it's like, I need a plan of execution. I need to know what you're going to do. yes, I'm going to give you this money, but I also need to account for it. So the first thing that came to my mind is, okay, so whether it's a side hustle or main hustle, you still need a plan. Yeah, you can't just up and about and just be like, you know, since it's a side hustle, I'll work on this on Tuesday or something. I'll work on this on Friday. Yeah, that's not how it was. And how I used to do it, I'd give myself deadlines. So he told me I need a plan by Friday. It was Monday. So I went back to hostel and I told myself I'll have the plan by Wednesday. But this was me in telecom engineering. I had nothing to do with digital, so I had to do research. So that's the second thing I learned about having a side business. However much it's a side business, you still need to dedicate time and research towards it, because most of the times it being a side business means you didn't really study for it, you just loved it, and that is why you're doing it. What is really driving you is the passion and the fun you get. Yeah, so I came up with a plan, yeah, and then I gave myself a deadline, yeah, and then I did research, yeah, and this is, I talked to everyone in the marketing field in Kampala back then this was digital. So they told me do this, do that, and by Wednesday I had the plan. I called this guy up, I'm like, I have your things, you know. Next thing I know, within 2 months I have about 4 clients. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about quitting university
and going into that.
But now I'm thinking about quitting university and all that, because I'm making my tuition in a month. Yeah. And I remember my last semester, I almost told my mom, don't pay tuition, I'll pay it myself.
But you're too greedy.
Yeah. But anyway, I had to. That wasn't enough, because now I was new. I looked up to people like Bernard and Waha and all these guys, because they were making serious money, and I'm like, how do I get there? Yes, it's a side hobby and all this, but now I want to be like them, because there's that, like how Mr. Moses said, there's just that drive in you that tells you that person is on A, how did they get there? Are you sure you can't get there? Why can't you get there? So these are the things that used to go through my head. I'm like, how did he get all those followers? How are they going to say he's better than me? Yeah. So I switched up my entire timetable. Daytime was engineering, nighttime was social media. I literally lost a girlfriend because of that, because she's like, oh, you're always online, you're always texting people, you're always, but I actually just wanted to see what people are doing. How do people tweet? How is grammar? Because some things used to confuse me, yours and your, and very many small things just used to confuse me. So I used to stay up at night, like till 2 a.m. just looking at people tweeting, then wake up at 5 a.m. just to look at people tweeting, so that I get that sense of, okay, if there's a trending topic, I have to tweet about it. Fine. Okay, if there's a conference coming up, I have to tweet about it. Yeah. So slowly by slowly, it became a hobby. Now the other thing I did,
just before you go further, so like these things that you just pick up and start doing, were you getting paid for them, or you just?
I was getting paid.
So you wouldn't do anything without getting paid?
No, I mean, before I tweet for free, but now people were telling me, hey, I'm going to give you 500,000 to tweet for a day at my conference. And I'm like, like, are you serious? And they're like, yes, we are. Here is the money. Come tomorrow from 8 to 5 and go. And that's how it used to work.
Okay, before you proceed from there, I mean, Chris, because one of the things that I believe in is a lot of people don't know about starting from the bottom. They see the end product, people like Golola here, and then they want to jump, okay, from zero and get there. They don't know that there's a lot of hard work. Sometimes you even work for free. You know, you do shows and things like that, and nobody pays you. You know, sometimes you even lose money. And I'm sure you've been through it. You spend more money on a show than you get. But so people look at the end product and they're like, yes, that's where I want to be. But they're not.
And there are some people who have to take advantage of you so that you can.
Yes,
you can learn.
because you're new. They're like, come, Faisal, come. Let's use you.
If you don't want to be taken an advantage, of course, it will delay you also to reach there.
Exactly. You won't get there. Yeah.
So I think that when we look at something as simple as farming, you plant a seed, takes time, then you harvest. It's actually a principle in life. It's called the principle of seed time and harvest. From when an idea drops in your mind and you say, I want to do kickboxing, I want to tweet, I want to do business growth coaching, I want to do marketing, whatever it is that one may decide. I want to do NTV MEN as a show. There's the time that the idea drops in your mind. But from when the idea drops in your mind, you don't instantly see success.
Yeah.
You've got to develop the idea.
The process.
Yes, it's a process.
And it's scary.
Yeah, it's scary. There is hard work. There is disappointment. You knock on doors and you're turned down. People who don't believe in you, like Golola said. There's so much that happens. But if you stay focused on where you want to go, if you stay focused with that picture in your mind, he said it, we all know it. You have a picture in your mind of a desired future, and you keep at it. At some point, you break. There is a break. Some people call it a lucky break, but it's not really lucky.
You have worked for it.
It's not really lucky.
Biblically, they say God satisfies the man's desire.
Yeah,
that desire.
Yes.
This one.
Yes.
It keeps pushing you until you get it. You're like, yeah.
Yeah. It says God satisfies the desires of your heart.
Yes.
Yes.
So the thing is that if you have desire but you don't work at it.
Yes.
So imagine if Golola wanted to be a champion many years ago. I believe that many years ago he was small like me, right? I also could have had an idea that I want to be a big man, but I stopped at desire. I didn't work at it. You can see even if I flex, Golola's arm is like my thigh, twice. You see what I mean? Because he worked on the desire.
Yeah.
But I was flexing a totally different muscle. So when I show up, I'm really good, at least by what most of my clients and others say, I'm really good at communication training and coaching.
Yeah.
I am very good in those areas. It's the muscle I have been building.
Yes.
I didn't have just a desire. There's been work and hours and hours and hours.
Put into it, yeah.
So you see 3 men here. I'm a business coach. He is Golola Moses of Uganda, kickboxing champion.
Yeah.
He is big, Piper, big in tweeting, big following. But when you check, and by the way, our stories are just a handful. There's the likes of Patrick Bitature, Sudhir, James Mulwana, God knows, so many people, Mohan Chuanka, so many people.
Yeah.
Everybody who has got somewhere worked on the idea. The desire just wasn't a desire.
Yes.
So there has to be some process. And by the way, many of us are at the starting line of what we want to achieve.
But we don't get to it.
Yeah, I mean, me, I am just starting, right? There's some people who have attained it. I am just starting in terms of what I see the possibilities are for the whole of Africa, for me.
Fantastic.
But there's got to be a process. You have the picture, there is a process. And that's what I would want to tell everybody,
And
young or old, you must go through process.
and also the other,
Just before we get to you, Moses, I actually happened to MC at his very first fight. Yes, I hosted it on TV, and I remember some of the things people were saying. I was saying, okay, fine, yes, because it was huge. Because everybody was wondering, who is this guy? Okay. Now, a lot of people were saying, this man talks too much. Okay. There's no way he can be able to do the things he's doing.
Yes.
When do you stop listening and just say, you know what?
I know my stuff.
I know myself and I'm going to do it.
In life, because as in business, how do you get there? There is what they call marketing.
Yes.
How do you market yourself? Like in my sector, I had to market myself
Yes.
for the people to know Golola. Actually, one of my friends told me that people, they don't know you because of kickboxing. I don't know, because if it was not kickboxing, they would have not known me. So the marketing, how do you sell yourself? Because where you want to go, you have to appear to the people. How do you appear to the people? How do you set yourself? How do you model yourself to the people? Because talking was like, I have to talk. Because my prayer was like, God bless my tongue.
But you've got a very strong voice.
Because every word I could speak would make an attention.
Yes.
Bless me, because there's something I want to deliver.
Yeah.
So I had to talk so much. And of course, people didn't know about kickboxing. In fact, when I approached most of the promoters and I tell them kickboxing, they were like, what are you talking about? What is kickboxing? I tell them, kickboxing now, this is the punching and the kicking. They say, oh, you was kick taekwondo. I said, no, it's like taekwondo, but you see, with the taekwondo, it is like a semi-contact, but this one is really serious fighting. You say, oh, it's like karate. And actually, I thank so much Patrick Kanyomozi. He's one of the guys who believed in me. Because I remember the day, there was a time he called me to KFA. And he told me, Golola, you are everywhere. You're on Facebook. People are talking about you. And by the way, people didn't know that Golola exists.
Oh, they thought that you were just something on social media.
I'm telling you, like, there is a guy called J.K. Kajona. By that time, 10 years back, he was in Malaysia. So 10 years back, NTV realized Golola, that Golola is the greatest. So they used to come to where I'm trained. They used to come to for the interviews. By that time of kickboxing. So this guy made some of my words, making movie trailers, so I became so much viral on the YouTube. There was a guy who opened a Facebook he's called Jimei. This guy, he told me that I have a friend of mine, we studied with him in Malaysia, but this guy started making a video of yours. They have become viral. I want to make a Facebook. I know one day people will start fighting about you. One day. So this guy, in fact, he met me in the gym. So we went to the cafe. We started the Facebook. He got even some of his colleagues started making comments. Goal again became viral. So that's when Patrick was like, amen. You were fired. He invited me to KFM. That's when I was telling people, I'm the man who kicked River Nile out of Uganda, who kicked all trees in the Sahara Desert. And you know, everyone was like, who is this guy?
A man who looks at a woman and makes her pregnant.
Makes her pregnant. But why? Because I knew that my money is in the people. How do I appear to those people? How will those people come to understand me? So I had to
really get out there.
Market yourself.
But market myself.
We need to go into a break right now, and then we'll
right.
talk about that. We are here at the Hilton Garden Inn with the champion himself. This is Golola. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. Don't forget, we need to hear from you. Our Twitter handle is NTV MEN UG, and our Facebook page is NTV MEN. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back from the break. We are here at the Hilton Garden Inn having a chat about turning your passion into your business and making money from it. Are you sitting, just as Chris said, just sitting at the starting line and saying, I'm going to do it. One of these days, I'm going to, and you don't ever start? Or are you midway and you're getting tired and wondering if this thing is ever going to turn into something? Now, Chris, we recently saw what this gentleman, Eliud Kipchoge, did with the Inos marathon thing. And the one thing that stuck out for me, great feat, but he didn't do it alone. Up to now, there's no man who can do that alone, who can run a marathon in less than 2 minutes. So let's talk about, 2 hours. Let's talk about the people around you.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say before we went into the break.
Okay,
I think
so
that's Chris is
go
going
ahead.
to say.
Yeah,
The one thing, just like how Golola said, he had to go to Kampala, the kickboxing club.
yeah.
You
Kampala
have
boxing
to
club.
surround yourself with professionals in that side hustle. Otherwise, you're not going, because remember, you haven't studied for this. It's just a hobby. You're just doing it out of passion. So chances are you don't really know the real fundamental principles about this so-called side hustle you're doing. So the next step is you need to legitimize it. And you're not going to legitimize it by your own self or by being with your friends who still think, that's his side hustle. Sometimes he can do it for free or something. Yeah. So I had to surround myself with like-minded individuals, people who had already made it. Even if they were not going to work with me, I just wanted to be there and just sit with them and be like, what are you doing? Yeah? Just like if any other boxer right now who's upcoming and loved it, wanted to be like Golola, they will call him and be like, Golola, where are you training from? Yeah, I'm training from here. Well, I just want to come and watch you train. Yeah? If you want, I can even get you some water. I don't want to train, I just want to come and watch you. Yeah? So that's the one thing. It's actually a very important factor because it teaches you how to, okay, it's a better way of investing your business, investing in your side hustle without making a loss. You see, these people who made it already put money, and some of it they lost, and then they learned to do it better.
Yeah.
Something I did not have to do, because me, all I had to do was sit, watch, learn, understand what I'm not supposed to do, and that was it.
Okay.
So Peter, it is said that you are the average of the 5 closest people around you.
Yes.
Just take an example of Golola's story. He mentioned the kickboxing club. He mentioned a guy who went with him to the cafe to start a Facebook page. He mentioned Kanyomozi something,
Patrick.
Yes.
at KFM.
Yeah.
He mentioned a guy in
Jeka
Malaysia.
who started making the videos.
Promoter, the first promoter. So it's a whole thing of, there is no such thing as a self-made millionaire, self-made.
No.
There's no self-made anyone. We all ride on the shoulders of giants. We may not recognize them as such, but they are. Many of us are where we are because someone, a friend, someone we knew who is a genius at something, and sometimes you don't even recognize how genius they are, or you don't recognize their genius rather, but someone, say for example, the friend who took him from the boxing club to the internet cafe and started a Facebook page and says, I know you're going to be big, let's start this, people will be fighting over this. That person is a genius. Because he could see
Where this was
that,
going.
yeah, you need to broadcast what you are doing so that you're on a platform where people can access you globally. Right?
Yeah.
So when you hear all the stories of people who are successful, other people have made them. You talk to Mr. Patrick Bitature, he will tell you that Mr. Karim Hilji and Mr. Sudil taught him about property. Now, that's an unlikely source for learning, but that's the truth, right? You don't just, sort of like pop out from the middle of nowhere and you become the thing that you are. But one of the things I wanted to emphasize is, Golola talked about marketing, how you present yourself to the people, how you position yourself and position your brand as being critical, right? But here's the thing. After the talk is done, when you show up, you've got to have substance.
You have to deliver. Yeah.
There's a friend of ours called Sam Chisa who says you can only survive on charm for 3 minutes. After that, people want substance.
Yes.
Yes? So if you talk, you say, I'm Golola Moses from Uganda, I'm the man who, I don't know, beat a snake, I died after 10 days. I'm the one who takes over 10 buckets of porridge per day. I look at a woman and she can become pregnant. All that stuff. Then you show up in the ring and you're beaten to pulp.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
People are going to say that's a joker. But if you talk big, But your talking is based on ability.
To deliver. Yeah.
So you show up and you kick the guy, you knock him out in the first round. People are going to believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So the thing is, can we also really become great at the things we're calling side hustles?
Yeah.
Not average, excellent. Peter, here is what I would guarantee you. As an individual, if I show up, if I get an opportunity to coach any business, doesn't matter the size, doesn't matter the sector, for me, if I get into the room, I know it's going to grow. I know it's going to scale up.
Yeah.
I know for sure. Right? So you have to, it has to be backed up with substance. If Pfizer is going to do your digital marketing, it's going to grow.
Yeah.
Did you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So the whole idea of lots of talk and no substance doesn't cut it.
It doesn't
You have
cut
to
it.
deliver.
Because when you show up and you don't have the goods,
Yeah.
I remember there was Golola, you had a fight with I forget that guy who they say he beat you, you say me I slid. You remember that one? So people are like, Golola is talking too much. Msaja Mukuba. He says, let's do a rematch.
And I show you. Yeah.
And I show you.
Yeah.
There's another Ugandan guy who he fought with twice. The second time the guy was knocked out. I mean, like, the guy is not talking anymore. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
You've got to have the substance to deliver. Why? Because when people are recommending you, they don't recommend your marketing gimmicks.
Yes.
Based on what
They
you-
People recommend
Results.
substance, results.
And that's
there's a place where I read that actually 80% of any job is actually showing up.
yes.
It doesn't matter if you're showing up for training. I mean, and again, clearly, you know how. One of the things I like about Golola is he showcases the run-up. No, you don't just, because some people go into hiding and then they show up, so people don't understand what it takes. You train hard.
Yes.
You and clearly there's no downtime. But the reality is, if you do not show up, doesn't matter how hard you train. If you don't show up, then there's no show.
And the other thing I actually loved about Golola, that they actually teach you about small enterprise businesses, is from the moment you say, okay, I'm going to take on this side hustle, you're supposed to treat it as a business. That moment. This is why you see he was doing road work and people thought he was a thief.
Yeah.
But why? Because he saw where this road work is going to take him. So in his head, he's going to treat it like a business before it even actualizes into a business.
Yeah.
You see, I was at campus, I had to get my pocket money, I had to buy a laptop. I never bought a laptop all 4 years I was at campus, apart from the year I joined social media. That's when I was like, you know what? I had a very poor phone, couldn't do anything. You'd switch it on, it would switch off. So I bought a laptop. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do social media the old-fashioned way on a PC. Why? Because I saw where it was going. My first check showed me where I was going. I was like, wow, if I can get $500 without knowing how to even draw up a digital strategy or anything, how will I be in 2 years' time when I know all these things? So I started treating it as a business there and then. Of course, there are these people who would come and tell you, come work for me for exposure and what. Sometimes I do it, but then sometimes there's just a point where I was like, you know what, now it's no. You
It's a
either
business
pay
now,
me
yeah.
or you go away.
Yeah.
Because I had to treat it as a business, so otherwise people just kept on taking advantage.
So can I just jump in there?
Yes,
I think, and I would like Golola to speak into this. I think that what makes a business are systems. And by systems, what I mean is processes and people who run the processes.
Yeah.
So imagine Golola training for a fight and there is no one to film it. And there is no TV to broadcast it. No
There's no
Facebook,
promoter,
no
yeah.
promoter, no YouTube.
Yes.
So you are training and you want people to come into the space where you're training to see that you're putting in the hard work for the fight,
Yeah.
but there is no one to show that process and broadcast it. That would fail.
Yeah.
But for brand Golola, the system is one, get a worthy opponent. Someone who, if he plays games, can beat him.
Yeah.
So the chance is 50-50.
So the pressure
yeah,
is on.
if I'm the guy that said Chris is going to fight Golola, people are like, joke. But you need to look like you can beat Golola.
A serious person.
A serious person,
Yeah.
right? But then he then takes us into the internal journey of what happens to Golola mentally, what happens to Golola physically, as he's preparing for that fight.
Yeah.
That's all. That's a system. It's a process. So when he gets into the match and he beats the guy knockout in the first round, I don't feel cheated. You know why? I've been watching him on TV and on YouTube for weeks, training
Anticipating,
for this moment. So my money, if I paid to enter, is over.
Yes.
I am like,
I got
he's
value.
done it. Why? Because there is a system and a process. So the question is for you, as you are turning your hustle into a business, what's the system? What are the processes you're going through?
Yes.
Who are the people who are responsible for each part of your process?
Yeah.
Because once it's all working like that, you've got a business.
You're in business. Now, guys, we do need to wrap up, so I'm going to start with your parting shot, Faisal, as we log out.
Well, my parting shot is to everyone who's out there. Number one, you need to stay focused. It's a side hustle, yes, but it's going to stay a side hustle if you don't stay focused. You need to stay focused. You need to get out. You need to be self-employed. You guys need to respect the fact that self-employment is where everyone is going. Yeah, you need to stay focused. You need to you need to treat it as a business from the get-go. You need to legitimize it. You need to surround yourself with people of substance, even if they're not going to work for you or work with you. You just need to be around them to see how they say, how they talk. You know, just being around a person like Patrick Bitature for a day will show you how you're supposed to negotiate with people. People will go to school and study for those things for a whole 3 months. Here you can just go through his YouTube channel, see how he articulates his points when he's talking to people, and you'll know what to do. Yeah. So you also need to surround yourself with people who are like that, like-minded people, and you need to plan. Planning is everything. The reason why most of our businesses these days don't go past a year is because no one plans. It's just a deal, you know. Today I get money, I hit a deal, I get like 10 million shillings. Tomorrow I set up a business, I put money here, I put money there, I put money here, then I wait. I'll be like, yeah, katika ninde sente zange. But there's no plan. And this is, like how Chris said that most of the time when people come to him, he knows the business is going up. Even when people come to me and are like, I want you to work on my platforms, I know it's going up because I already know what they're not doing. Just by the fact that they've come to me. Yeah.
Fantastic. Chris, your parting shot.
I first of all, I'm really honored to be on set with Golola. I'm serious. I really think that that you've been a great example to so many Ugandans, so many young people, and our country needs people like you, who basically are representing the fact that it's possible to be a global champion from Uganda.
Yeah.
And you're legit, and you're the genuine article. Now, not all of us can kickbox, but whatever your gifting is, there's a reason why God put it in you. Make money off it.
Yeah.
Find a way of systematizing your gift, your hobby, and make money off it. If it's a system, it's a business. And people pay businesses money. People don't pay for hobbies.
That's great stuff. Golola, first of all, thank you for coming here. One last thing from you. Now you have gone a step higher. You now have a movie coming out. Just quickly, what is the movie about?
Well, the movie is all about the life of a champion. Life of a champion, this is Golola. Yeah, you know, like when we talk about movies, first of all, some other stars are just made. Like they are not really champion. But Golola has been a champion. People, they have made Golola the champion. They have seen Golola being a champion. So, so many people, when they see Golola, they always see him in the ring. So many people, they need to know if Gola is not in the ring, what happened? What happened when Gola goes to the market? What happened when Gola passes on the street? So the life is all about Gola in his people, in his fans, and also does Gola have those moments of like chilling, talking with somebody, you know?
Just being.
Yeah, and secondly, the movie shows the real fighting, the real hustle. The real hustle to become a champion. So me, all I want to tell everyone that everyone can be a champion in everything you're doing. It's a matter of believing in yourself, and secondly, it's to pray God, because it's only God who can water our dream to become true. And secondly, that God, people should have time of getting their time and think, give their brain medulla oblongata to burn, and to should meditate, because after you have come out of the meditation, you can see what you can do. Like to me, I was like, God, yes, I want to be a champion, but I want to be a superstar. I knew that with kickboxing, I won't fight until I'm 50 years. I said that, God, I want to be a movie star, because with the movies, even if you are 100 years, you can continue. Where will I take my fans after retiring in kickboxing? Because like I want to fight like two fights like maybe next year. I want now to bring kickboxing in a cricket oval. I want to take kickboxing in Selena. Yes.
So you're scaling up. Fantastic.
Yeah, so that as the game is still going up, I'm also planning to see the boys that I've inspired. I'm looking forward also starting a TV show showing these fight contenders on the ways that these guys who believe in themselves. I want to go there searching for talents. I want to see that every week on the TV there is kickboxing, because why are we watching wrestling? Why are we watching wrestling? So these boys I've inspired. They are looking at this sport as they want to turn into business. I want to open something which calls fighting money. Someone, at least you come and fight, you get something. Look the way how comedy started jokingly, but now there are so many people who have benefited from comedy. So with kickboxing, it is an international sport. It has money. I have promoted it. If people can come and watch, more than 20,000 people come and watch Gola. If I retire, where will those people go? So I have to prepare these boys. That's why they always asking me, who are those bringing in? Fantastic. So it's amazing that I want to see these boys have inspired. I want to be a communicating kickboxing. So I can do that the rest of my life. So these guys, I want to go on showing them, seeing that they can be able to get something. So
I love your passion. I love your passion, and we are together on it.
Passion can kill me. I'm like, I can get emotion, and I'm like, woo. No, I get too much emotion. But I thank God so much. Thank you so much of hosting me here. I know I have not said it all, but
we will have you back again.
Those people who believed in us, who watched this show, we thank you so much. I want to thank you so much. I have got a chance to meet you and this great man. This such kind of young men they are there, and we need to see how we support them, because you might see that they are different guys like him. So thank you so much. The host, man. Watch out.
You've heard it from Moses Golola himself. It's time for us to wrap up the show. We've had a great show, and as I always say, see you next week from us here at the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel. God bless and take good care of yourself.